Hi guys, and welcome back to another FMWonderbros podcast with me, Callum,
And me, Elliot.
and today we're going to be doing Game Week 2 review on the Premier League season. So let's start with Liverpool versus Burnley, mate. What do you make of that?
Right, so it was 2-0 Liverpool on it. I
Yeah,
think we all knew it was going to be a Liverpool win. I think so far, because I watched the game, because I've been in isolation, Liverpool look very strong so far this season. With Van Dijk, they are just solid. But to be fair, I think Burnley played quite well, to be fair. They didn't get a goal or anything, but they had some good moments.
there was a chance that I thought Alisson was in no man's land where free kick came in, James Tarkowski came and headed it, and it was just wide.
Yeah.
That was probably their best chance for the game. Um, but I thought Harvey Elliott looked really good. He didn't look out of depth in the Premier League. I thought he played really well. But I thought overall Liverpool were quite wasteful with some of their chances. I think it could have been 3-4 nil, but
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, but I still think Burnley played quite well, even though, well, I think most of us had them written off. They had some good chances, I think, and where if they play like that against the teams around them, then they could get the points to stay up.
yeah, but overall I think Burnley were just eased past by a better Liverpool side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So moving on to Villa versus Newcastle. Started off with a long throw by Matty Cash, flick on with from Tyrone Mings, and a stunning goal from Danny Ings. Really,
I just want to say something about that goal. Everyone who's saying that is better than Rooney's bicycle kick, you're delusional. It was a
I
good
agree.
goal, but it was not better than Rooney's bicycle kick. That's all I'm saying.
Rooney's bicycle kick was another level compared to that. Like
It
it was a good,
was.
very good goal by Ings, and I've noticed recently that teams are starting to adapt, like take back the long throw-ins,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
I
I've
think
seen
is
that as well.
very interesting. Um, I think Alan St Maximin just wasn't as threatening as he was against West Ham for Newcastle.
No, but I still think Newcastle should have scored. There was this one chance I remember, Callum Wilson 1-on-1, and he just had to score it, and he put it
Yeah.
just wide. He had to score it.
What did you make of the Martinez foul that ultimately got him a yellow card, but then it was brought back for offside?
Well, I only saw the highlights of this game, but to me, it was a penalty. But the fact that it was offside and obviously taken back obviously means it isn't a penalty. But if the offside part didn't come into it, then that foul was a penalty. But wait, did you say that he still got a yellow card for it, but the penalty
I,
was
I'm
disallowed?
I'm not too sure whether the yellow card stood or
Because
not,
if the yellow
but
card stood, then that was, well, that's very weird. But I think the foul was a penalty. But if Callum Wilson was offside, then they made the right decision in cancelling it.
the problem that I have with that, it's still dangerous play, and it was similar to the challenge that Pickford did on Van Dijk last year. It's dangerous play nonetheless. So I still feel like there should have been, even there's a stop, even though the play stopped. I think that there should be some repercussions for Martinez, like whether that yellow card should have stood or whatever. He's still been involved in dangerous play.
Yeah, I see your point.
Okay, let's move on to Palace versus B Brentford. Sorry, and I think this was probably the most boring game out of the whole weekend.
Yeah, to be honest, all I've got written down for this game is that both teams hit the bar. That's all that happened. I think it was a bit of a boring
Yeah,
game, wasn't it?
yeah, I think Tony fluffed a few chances.
I think he's not adapted to the Premier League yet.
But it's only his second game, so it might come. I thought Conor Gallagher, I think that's his name for Palace,
When
was
he hit the bar.
probably their bright spark. But
Yeah.
apart from that, nothing looked amazing. Apart from the McCarthy shot where Ryan made an outstanding save to tip it over the bar.
Oh yeah, that was a very good save.
But like you're saying, apart from that, there was literally nothing during the game. So let's move on to Leeds versus Everton. So Luca was going to this game.
He
Did he say
was.
anything to you about it?
He said plenty of things about it.
Oh, did he?
Yes. Apparently they've got little flags, so he's got a little flag, bless him, that he can wave around his bedroom. um, he said, can't really remember the rest. Apparently there was a crackhead in the corner. That's about it. That's all I remember.
Well,
And
I
he
thought that
said,
Everton's defence was shaky.
yeah. He said that he doesn't like Calvert-Lewin because every time he scores against Leeds, he shushes them. But I think that's just... I mean, I saw Demarai Gray do it as well in his celebration, and I just think it's... Yeah, it's becoming a normal celebration now, shushing the other fans.
Yeah. I thought, like I said, Everton's defence was near enough everywhere. Like, they were quite shaky at points.
Yeah.
Thought Meslier should have done better for Everton's second goal.
Yeah, I think he should have saved Demarai Gray's goal. However,
Yeah,
saying that, I think after that goal went in, he kept them in the game by making a few massive saves. And
yeah.
Rafinha, his goal was beautiful. However, there's one question I got for you. Do you think it was a penalty for Calvert-Lewin?
When I saw it in real time, I thought no. Watching reviews on it, yes.
That's exactly the same as me. Because you can clearly see that, I think, was it Liam Cooper? I
Yeah,
believe it was. Like, he was fully like holding Calvert-Lewin and grabbing onto his shirt, and for me that is a penalty.
yeah. So let's just move on to the City versus Norwich game now.
I told
What
you it
did
was
you
going to be a
make of
big
it?
scoring game.
Yeah, they won with such ease.
They
Such a
did.
comfortable game for
I told you
City.
Norwich, I think, are going down.
I reckon they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back from that. It was at the
What,
Etihad.
against Leicester?
Yeah, we'll come to that later. But
Oh,
City front three looked great.
yeah. I
Like, no
think
matter who they had.
everyone says that Gabriel Jesus is dreadful, but he got 2 assists. Could have been 3. I think he just needs a bit of game time, bit of confidence, and he could be an alright striker for them.
Was he playing more on the right wing to you? Because that's how I perceived his position. He was
I
more of
thought he was
the
playing
right
like
wing.
a cam slash right wing. Like he'd sometimes be in the middle, but he wasn't the front man. It looked like, but then he would drift out to the right.
Yeah. Well, Grealish got his home debut goal,
He
but it was a
did.
lucky goal.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't mean it, but I mean a goal's a goal, innit?
yeah. And overall, I think they just look comfortable.
Yeah.
I did think that Norwich looked a bit scrappy at the back, like that. They just couldn't clear their lines, but I reckon
Well, they've
they'll
just brought in
bounce.
Brandon Williams on loan.
Yeah, they have, which hopefully will shore up their left back position.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Brighton versus Watford. It was 2-0 Brighton. What did you make of it?
Right. I think Brighton so far this season have looked very good. I think they could be the underdogs of this year. I think Shane Duffy's header was just beautiful. Great
It was
power,
another level.
great placement. Like, no keeper saving that. It was right in the corner.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to add is I think Basuma is one of the most overrated... not overrated, underrated midfielders in the Premier League. I think he is class.
I've got
And
that written down as well. I think the
yeah,
exact same, mate. I think I don't understand why Arsenal have splashed out 50 million on Ben White when they could have got Basuma for like half of the price that they spent on Ben White. And I know that they're different positions and Arsenal needed shearing up at the back, But to have that Basuma player sat in front of them, I think it would have helped them so much more.
Yeah, and as a United fan, the position we need the most is a centre mid, and everyone says about like Ruben Neves or Camavinga or Sal, but I think Basuma is the defensive midfielder that we need to slot in, and I just think he would bring something else to our team. I would love him at United.
Well, we've got one more week of the transfer window to go. Or, what is it, 5 days now?
Something like that, but I have just seen that apparently United are getting closer to a deal with Sal, I think it is. So
Oh, really?
we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
However, Chelsea are in the running for that as well, and I have also seen that Ronaldo wants to leave Juventus apparently and come to a Premier League club with Champions League football. So I think the player I want more than anyone at this time, even though we really needed a centre mid, is just Ronaldo. Just to have him back United would mean so much to me.
Fair enough. Should we move on to the United game and do a review on that? What do you think of the Southampton versus Man United game?
I was very disappointed, to be honest. Like we started off well. We had a few good chances. We should have probably scored a few early on, but then they scored, which, in my opinion, shouldn't have stood. I do think it was a foul on Bruno Fernandes.
Oh my god.
No,
Delusional.
no. I don't get what you say. That was a foul. That was clearly a foul, I think. We went and got that goal. Pogba with the assist again. Class.
It was a nice work goal as well.
It was. But then after that goal went in, I don't know what happened to us. We just ended poorly, and we looked like the team that were going to concede, even though it should have been the other way around. We just got the goal, got the momentum. We should have been pushing for that second, but we just looked dreadful. Fred was horrific, but De Gea made one massive save and a few other good saves, but one massive save against Armstrong towards the end.
Towards the end of the game, yeah, I was
Which was
just about to say
vital.
that kept you in that game until the end.
It did.
But, sorry, we had James Ward-Prowse sign a new contract during the week, and he was testing De Gea from every set piece that he had.
Yeah, but
And that clearance off the line as well.
yeah, it was disappointing. But in good news, or sort of good news, we have levelled Arsenal's away record. So one more away draw or win. As long as we don't lose our next away game, we beat their undefeated away record, which I think is a big deal considering how not shit, but everyone says how bad United are at the minute. But if we could level Arsenal's record, I think that's something quite big,
And it's Wolves away next for you guys, so
on Sunday. Yeah, it'll be a tough game, but yeah, we'll get to it.
Well, let's move on to Wolves. Wolves versus Tottenham. Nuno returned to his old stomping ground.
He did.
What did you make of it?
I think, well, it was definitely a penalty for Spurs. That was clear and obvious.
Yeah,
I
hands down.
think Wolves had a few good chances and could have scored. But I'm going to say it again. Again, same as last week. Adama Traore is dreadful. He had a few good, from what I saw, few good spells, few good runs, good passes, but he can't finish. Another one-on-one where he has to score and he misses. It's just yeah. And now he's linked with Tottenham.
Yeah, I think the link-up play between Jimenez and Traore was really good, but like he said, Traore just can't finish. But for Tottenham, one player that stood out to me that's quite underrated is Steven Bergwijn.
Definitely.
I thought he
had a corker.
I thought he looked very good during the game.
That little bit of skill towards the end of the game. Oh, that was
very
filthy,
set
wasn't
up
it?
Harry Kane where Kane should have finished.
Kane should have scored as well.
Yeah, no. I was annoyed because I had him in my fantasy team.
So did
And
I.
he came on with the last 15 minutes So gets 1 point and then gets a yellow card, so -1, so gets me 0 on the end of the day. So might as well not come on and have someone from my bench come on. But
Yep.
oh well. Okay, let's move on to the biggest game of this weekend: Arsenal versus Chelsea. Lukaku's just a different striker.
He is scoring on his second Chelsea debut, if you will.
Yeah, he
And
looked so strong when he held off, was it Pablo Mari?
yeah.
And to get back into the box to finish that from a ball over from Reece James was incredible. Like, it's just another level.
Yeah,
One thing
definitely.
that I love about Chelsea as well, their fullbacks love getting high, and that's where they seem to be most dangerous, is when the fullbacks get so high through Reece James, Alonso, Chilwell, Aspilicueta, whoever's playing at fullback, when they get high and get a ball across, or like we saw at the weekend, Reece James having a nice pop and scoring. So
Yeah, I think Reece James' goal was very good on it.
yeah, very good.
And however, I think Arsenal should have scored. Rob Holding, he had a header. He definitely should have scored.
But I
If
also think that Chelsea deserved more from that game. I think it should have been more goals from them.
Oh, definitely. I think Leno kept that score very low. He made a few world class saves,
Yeah.
especially that header from Lukaku.
Do you think Arsenal should have had a penalty for the challenge on Saka?
Yes, yes, yeah, I think so.
I'm mixed on it. I'm not really sure whether it should have been or shouldn't have been, but
Yeah,
they didn't give
it
it.
is a tough
They
one,
give
but
it.
I think yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, finally going on to the best game of the weekend by far. Obviously, it's the West Ham versus Leicester game.
All right, I'll let you talk about this one.
Well, obviously, I was at work, so I didn't get to watch much of it. But from what I have seen, West Ham's front four look great in Bowen, Fornals, Benrahma, and Antonio. However, I did think it was a harsh red card.
Do you?
I think if he, I don't think it was a foul on him, but I think if he hadn't got the push in the back from Creswell, he wouldn't have made the challenge as bad as it was. If that makes sense.
I think because I remember watching it in well, it was only last night, but watching it in real time, it was just like, oh, it's not well, play on. But then when you look at the replays, I think it was a Stonewall red, and it was a massive turning point. I think
I think I think it was horrendous the fact that he caught him so high.
yeah,
But like I'm saying, I think if there wasn't that slight little push from Creswell and his in Perez's back, I don't think the challenge would have been as bad as it was.
yeah. But at the end of
But
the day, his foot was high, so in my opinion, it's a red. But it like that was a massive turning point. After that, West Ham like just
at the
sort
end,
of
yeah, at the end of the day, there was a slight little push, and he did make that challenge, so it is a red card. Simple as.
yeah.
Antonio, West Ham's all-time goal scorer in the Premier League.
With that
What did you
little
make?
celebration.
What did you make of that celebration?
I'm still confused. I thought it was hilarious
I
because, yeah, I just never seen
I
it
think he's
before.
like celebration king. I think he's one of the best at celebrating.
Yeah, but let's quickly go back to the. I think it was West Ham's second goal. That Siyunku mistake.
Yeah,
What's he doing there?
I
Surely you
think
have to look up and look where your goalkeeper is and look where the attackers are. He just played it into a dangerous position,
I
and
think Leicester looks sloppy overall. I
yeah,
think their I think their goal was even lucky because Creswell got a block on that first one. It just
and it
fell
just fell
back to
back
him.
to him. Yeah,
It's it was quite lucky, but I
but
think
I
Rice
mean,
had another outstanding game.
I think the thing is with Rice, he plays very well, but you don't recognise it because he doesn't get many goals, he doesn't get many assists, even though he got an assist last night. And obviously, he's not the best in fantasy football because of that. So I think he's like actually quite underrated. But he like if you watch him play, he holds that West Ham team so well, and his passing is like amazing.
I think he is slept on by a lot of fans because he plays for West Ham.
He's another player I'd take at United.
I think fans sort of hate West Ham fans for the praise that they give Declan Rice, and they feel like we overrate him. But you look at him last night, and he had another outstanding game for us, and just why West Ham fans love him so much.
And West Ham are now top of the league. And the thing is, after 2 games, I mean, they've not been the easiest games, have they? Leicester being one of them, who are like actually a good side, and Newcastle. You're top of the league. You've played well in both games. You've scored 8 goals in 2 games. I think you're going to have a very good start to the season, but it might start going bad when the Europa League starts. But you never know.
All I'm saying is the season that Leicester won the league, they beat Newcastle, or they beat a team from the North East in their first game of the season, and then they beat West Ham, who were down to 10 men. Are we saying that's going to be repeated with West Ham this year?
Definitely not.
Oh.
I've seen things like that about United, like fucking something like that, winning the league. Last time United won the league, they won 5-1 in their first fixture. That means nothing. I mean, I always look at them things and think, oh, maybe. But it's the Euros that changed my mind. The amount of things I was like looking at the Euro final, I was like, oh, last time we won it's just all these things, and ultimately it didn't happen.
I think I might whack a cheeky fiver on West Ham to win the league, you know.
I think you should have done it earlier. I bet the price has gone down even a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's move on to game week 3.
Right, the predictions.
We start off with a good game, I would say, with City versus Arsenal. City have looked poor in their first game, but came back against Norwich hard, and Arsenal have just looked poor in their first 2. What have you gone for?
Right, I've gone for a 3-1 Man City. I think City will win because Arsenal have just looked horrific so far this season. I've given Arsenal 1 goal, but I really hope they don't score, because that would just be hilarious if they haven't scored in August.
So I went for a 3-0 City win. It's at the Etihad again. Arsenal haven't scored this season. I can't see it doing past the brick wall City defence.
Yeah. I just thought I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, and
I just can't see them. Yeah, just can't see it happening. So, next game is Newcastle versus Southampton. I went for a 2-1 Newcastle win.
Have you?
So even though Southampton looked good against United, they were in front of their home fans.
Yeah.
Newcastle looked relatively good in the first half against West Ham in front of their own fans. And I reckon St Maximin will do something to Southampton. Like, he'll just pull the strings in front of their home fans, really.
Yeah. Well, I have gone for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
I think watching the Southampton game, I know it was at home, but they actually did look alright. And their youngster that they've just brought in, I think he's from Chelsea, Livramento, he honestly just looks world class against United. For someone who hasn't really played that much and is so young, he just looked like he belonged on that pitch. And I just think he's going to be very good this season, and he might boss Newcastle around.
Well, I think quite a few of these games this week could be quite close, and I think that one will be quite close in general, and I think next one, Brighton versus Everton, will be quite close as well.
I have to agree with you there.
I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
So both of us going for a draw in that game. But I think Brighton, like you said earlier, I think Brighton have just looked very good this season so far. And Everton looked shaky against Leeds. So I can
Yep.
see
Excuse me.
it being quite close.
I have to agree with you there.
What's the next game? West Ham versus Palace. What have you gone for that?
I've gone for a 3-0 win to West Ham.
Have you actually?
I have. I think I've told you this before. Palace are going to struggle this year, I think. And I mean, I know Brentford beat Arsenal 2-0. Could have been a fluke because they've just come up. So you can't say Brentford are amazing because they've just come up. And looking at a team like Palace who've been in the Premier League consistently, they should be performing better against Brentford, and they didn't. I just think Palace are not good, to be honest. So yeah, I've gone 3-0 West Ham. I think West Ham will just batter them.
Oh, I've gone for the exact same, and I think just with the link-up play that we've got up front is just going to be another level against Palace's defence. Hoping to bring a few more signings in before the end of the window, but I think with Saturday on the horizon, I think just go with the normal front four and they'll do bits against Palace again.
Yup.
So Norwich versus Leicester, what have you gone for?
So I think Leicester are going to bounce back here. I've gone for 2-0 Leicester.
Any other reason why, or
I
think
just
that they're going
think
to back?
Leicester are the better team. They had a poor game against you. I think, but having said that, I think the game last night between you and Leicester would have been much closer if they didn't get that red card. So, I think it might. I think West Ham probably still would have won, but it would have been like a 2-1 or something. So I'm saying Leicester will just walk Norwich. I think just simple 2-0. I think Brendan Rodgers would have just bollocked them last night, and I think they're just going to go straight on to the next game, bounce back, and sort themselves out.
Well, I've gone for a score that might surprise you. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I don't know. I just think this could be a surprise. I think, like, Leicester looked shaky at the back yesterday with Soyuncu, who made the mistake. You've got Vestergaard, who's now out injured, along with the other two centre backs in Fofana and Evans.
Yeah.
I think Pookie might sneak a goal in.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, and that's why I think it could
I
be
stand
a
by
draw.
Leicester winning. I just don't think Norwich are that good.
Fair enough. So Villa versus Brentford.
I've gone for a 2-1 win to Aston Villa. I just think Aston Villa played very well against Newcastle, just gone. And I think they're just going to carry that on. I think the first game was like a little... They weren't expecting it. They weren't ready for it, maybe. But they've just come back against Newcastle, shown they can score, show like good goals, they can defend. I think... Yeah, I just think it'll be a good game, I think. But I think Villa will take it.
Yeah, I went for a Villa 1-0. I think, like you said, they just looked good in the recent game against Newcastle. I think Brentford could struggle in scoring if Tony doesn't get his shooting boots on soon enough. I think Brentford have got a good defence. Like, they've shown it in the last few games by not conceding so far. However, I think Danny Ings will just pop up with a goal.
Yeah.
He's looked very good the last few games, Danny Ings.
definitely. I think Danny
Yes.
Ings could push for top goal scorer if he carries on. I mean, 2 and
If he
2,
doesn't get injured.
but like 2 and 2 is like decent. But I mean, he's probably going to be the main scorer for Villa, so you never know.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to another big game this weekend in Liverpool versus Chelsea.
Yes.
I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I
Have you?
think I think Liverpool look very strong defensively. I think Chelsea look strong defensively. And I think both of them could grab a goal through Lukaku and Salah.
I've gone for a Chelsea win.
What score have you gone for?
Just a 2-1. I just think
I
Chelsea are just too good this year. I think. I mean, Liverpool have played well so far, but I don't think they'll be able to. Yeah, I just don't think they're on Chelsea's level. I think Lukaku will score. It'll be like it's going to be a great game. We already know that. Lukaku versus Van Dijk is going to be amazing, but I just think Chelsea will edge it.
Yeah. I think it will be another close game though.
Plus, it's at Liverpool, but that's irrelevant because Liverpool fans can only sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," then they stop for the rest of the game. So,
I think the atmosphere at Anfield wasn't all there.
it's very overrated. Everyone says that Liverpool fans are the best, but every time I watch them, I can never hear them
So
singing.
overrated. Yeah, so overrated.
They sing one song at the start and then stop.
Okay, let's move on from that though, and let's go to Burnley Leeds.
Alright, 2-0 Leeds. I'm putting it out there.
I've gone 1-0 Leeds. Burnley have just looked sloppy.
Yeah.
And I reckon this is the game for Bamford to start scoring.
Yeah. I just think that Leeds they had a very bad first game against United. Tactics wrong in that. Gone against Everton, drew 2-2, which like is good because technically Everton are like meant to be up there, and Leeds have come up last season, so on paper that's a good result. And I just think Leeds are better than everyone thinks they are, and I think they'll just easily get past Burnley.
Yeah. What have you gone for? Tottenham versus Watford then?
I've gone for 2-0 to Tottenham.
Exactly the same, mate. I think Kane will start this game, hopefully. I need those fantasy points with him.
So do I.
Watford away the other weekend just gone looked quite poor.
Yeah, I think Watford versus Villa the first week was just a bit of a weird game because since then, I know there's only been one game, but Villa played well and Watford played bad. I think it was just, I'm not sure what I think it was, but I think Watford aren't that good.
Yeah.
I think they just had a great game, or Villa wasn't like all there or something.
And that's why I think they're going to struggle this year and go down.
They will go down if they don't start playing the Cycling GK.
Yeah, I think Tottenham will score a couple against them, or hopefully they will. Especially Kane. I need those fantasy points.
Yeah.
That's whether he leaves in next week or whatever.
Yeah, I mean anything could happen, couldn't it?
That's the thing. Any like you say, anything could happen. So I've gone for a 2-0 Tottenham win for now, but might change.
Depending on what happens with Kane.
Yeah. So final game of the weekend is your boys Man United versus Wolves.
Right. I've gone for a 1-0 United win.
Only a 1-0.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not sure how Ole's going to handle this, But if it was me, I would play for a draw, I think, just to get that record. 'Cause could you imagine coming all this way? I think it's 27 games in it, unbeaten away, just to lose it when you've equalled the record. I mean, obviously there's bigger things, and you'd say, oh, you want to win that, just get the 3 points for the Premier League. But I think the confidence that'd bring would be massive. If going 28 games away unbeaten, yeah. So I think they'd set up for a draw, but United might nick a 1-0 win. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think it's just going to be get the goals, just sharp shot.
Well, I've gone for a 2-0 United win. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll try and win the game, which I think he should. I think they've got a good enough side to beat Wolves. Wolves haven't looked amazing this whole season so far.
However, I do just want to say, I think United will win, because as long as all I'm asking you is please start Varane and Sancho. Sancho got a little run in against Southampton, but half an hour, 20 minutes. Varane didn't play. I get they need to match sharpness and all of this, but Sancho's played in a few friendlies. He's been here for a little while now. Varane's been here for a little while. They're world class athletes. Just play them. You look at Villa, for example. Ings started the first game. It's none of this, oh, let's bring him on halfway through the game. Just start him. You've spent hundreds of million, 100 million almost on 2 players, and you're not going to start them straight away, or after a few games. Just Grealish is starting now. He came on at half time or something in his first game, but now he's starting. So I don't get what his problem is with starting the new boys. It baffles me and it hurts me so much.
You look at Lukaku as well. He walked in during the week and then started for Chelsea against Arsenal.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is if Varane starts against Southampton, we don't concede that goal. I mean, I know it probably wasn't Lindelof's fault, but I just think Varane's that leader that you need at the back who just tells everyone what to do. And even though Lindelof didn't make any mistakes, I think Varane being in there instead just makes the whole side play better, because he's that leader that would just can command.
Yeah, I do agree. I think you need to start starting him, but at the end of the day, we're not the managers of Man United, so
that's a good point.
They see him day in day out training, so they know them best, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that sums up our Game Week 2 review and Game Week 3 predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you later.
See you later.